Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of magic. You're listening to Scarehunter Storytime. Many scary stories to chill your bones. Today's story is called The Halloween Game. So turn off the lights, get cozy by the fire, and be prepared for some scares. I'm sure you have all played your own type of pranks when you were a kid. Prank phone calls, TPing houses, ding-dong ditching, egging, and more. Well, for Elena, her prank went too far. It was a normal Halloween night for Elena and her friends. After they got done trick-or-treating, they watched horror movies and told each other ghost stories. After a few hours, Elena said, "Hey, let's make some prank phone calls, then TP some houses." They all laughed, and one of them said, "Who are we going to prank call first?" Elena thought about it for a minute. Then she said, "Let's start by prank calling a restaurant and go on from there." They all agreed, and Elena made the first call. When someone answered the call, Elena asked, "Do you have chicken necks?" She heard the person say yes. Then she said, "Well, wear a turtleneck sweater and nobody will notice." When Elena hung up, everybody laughed their heads off. They spent an hour prank calling people. After they stopped laughing, they decided to go out and TP people's houses. Before they took off, Elena's mom said, "Don't be out too late and be careful who you prank." Elena and her friends promised that they would be careful. After an hour of TPing houses, Elena said, "What do you guys say we TP one more house, then call it good till next year?" Her friends agreed, and they went in search of one last house to hit. They remembered a house on the hill, but they were scared. As they looked at each other, Elena said, "Maybe we should find another house to hit. No one goes up there." "Which is exactly why we should go," said Elena's friend Selena. Everybody looked at Selena like she was crazy. "Come on, think about it. We'd not only be the first ones to go to the Malone's house, but we'd also be the first ones to TP it. Everyone in our high school would envy us. We'd be legends." They all thought about it for a minute. Then they decided to go to the house. Rumors had spread that the Malone family were a family of killers, and they would capture and kill anyone they found wandering around their property. The girls had heard their classmates talk about the place, and also heard them admit that they were too scared to venture up there. So the girls took the opportunity to become legends in their school. As they headed up the hill, they saw a graveyard, and Elena said, "Must be for the victims they killed." The girls started to get scared again, but they kept going. When they got to the house, they took a group selfie to prove they were there. After they took the photo, Elena said, "Okay, we took the picture. Now let's get out of here." The others agreed, but Selena shook her head and said, "Not until we TP this place and take a picture of that." Elena looked at Selena and said, "You're right. It's about time we start taking risks. We're 16, not babies. Let's get this party started." So they softly giggled and started throwing TP around the house. After they were done, they got ready to take another picture. As they took the picture, they were knocked out. When Elena and Selena woke up, they saw that their other friends were gone. As the two of them struggled to get free, they heard the door open and a man, woman, and 2 kids came out. When they sat in front of Elena and Selena, the man smiled and in an Irish accent said, "Well, it's about time you two woke up. Your other friends woke up a while ago." "Where are they?" Selena asked. The man said, "Let's not get into that right now. Let's get acquainted first. We are the Malones. I'm sure you know that. I'm Leroy. This is my wife, Angel, and our kids, Leroy Jr. and Sheila. And who are you?" The two of them said, "Elena, Selena." With the introductions out of the way, Leroy said, "Well, now that we got to know each other, I guess I should tell you about your friends. They're in the middle of a game, and you're about to join them. LJ, Sheila, let's prepare them for the game." The 2 kids grabbed a needle and gave Elena and Selena a shot and knocked them out. When the girls woke up, they were in a huge maze in the basement. As they tried to open the door, they heard Leroy Sr. over the loudspeaker as he said, "Okay, let the games begin." As the girls continued to struggle with the door, Leroy Sr. got back on the speaker and said, "You're going to face your worst fears as you go through this maze. You don't have any other choice but to play. Well, that or starve to death. It's your choice." Selena started to cry and said, "I'm so sorry I got us into this." Elena looked at her and said, "It's okay. We'll get out of here, I promise." Selena dried her eyes, nodded, and they headed down the maze. As they headed down and turned a corner, they ran into a dead end and the bodies of their friends. They had both been tortured and looked like they were cut and beaten. Elena and Selena started to cry, and while they cried, the bodies of their friends began to move. As they got up, Elena and Selena stood frozen in fright. They were about to run when both of their friends said, "Why did you have us come to this place? Look what they did to us! Now you can join in the fun. Come play with us." They ran off with their dead friends chasing them while their bones cracked as they moved. Elena and Selena went down one corner and down another. While they ran, Elena said, "We need to trip them somehow. If we make them fall, They'll break into millions of pieces. Selena nodded, and while they ran, they looked for something they could use to trip the bodies. As they rounded another corner, they found some rope and got ready for their fight. Selena and Elena each held one end of the rope and pulled it tight. When their dead friends got close, they pulled the rope and their friends fell and broke it to pieces. Elena and Selena cried and ran off. Each time they ran into a dead end, they had to fight off one monster or another that came their way. When they got halfway through the maze, Leroy Sr. got on the loudspeaker and said, "Good job, girls. You're halfway there. Beware, though. There's still more challenges waiting for you." Elena started to cry a little and said, "I can't do this anymore." Selena put her hand on Elena's shoulder. "We can't give up now. We're so close to getting out of here. Besides, our teamwork is what got us this far." Elena dried her eyes and nodded as she smiled. They kept going, and they got to a part of the maze with razor wire. As they crawled through, they would get cut. Once they got out, Leroy Sr. said, "There's a first aid kit to treat your injuries, but you still need to keep going." When they cleaned their cuts, they went on to see what was waiting for them next. They ran into another dead end, and as they turned around to get back out, the floor opened to reveal a tiger pit. Elena found a skinny piece of wood and put it across the pit. Selena looked at Elena and said, "I don't know about this." "I don't think this will hold both of us." Elena said, "You're right. How about you go first, then me? I know you're scared. So am I. We have to do this." Selena nodded and started to go across. When she made it across, Elena went next. She was halfway across when she slipped and held on to the piece of wood. While the tigers jumped up at her, Elena scooted her way across the pit. When she got across, she started to slip. Selena grabbed her before the tigers could get her. After they took a minute to catch their breath, they continued through the maze. As they got away from a snake pit, Elena said, "Why are you doing this?" Leroy Sr. got back on the loudspeaker and said, "Well, you wanted to TP our house for a prank or game, right? This is to show you what a real game is. Never pull a prank if you don't want to suffer the consequences." The girls saw an exit sign and ran as fast as they could. When they went through the exit door, they were in a dark room. While they tried to feel for a way out, the lights came on. Elena and Selena turned around and saw Leroy Jr. and Sheila with axes. The girls tried to open the door, but it was locked. As they kept trying the door, Leroy and Sheila both at the same time said, "Where are you going? The game isn't over yet. We're going to play this game forever and ever and ever." The girls screamed as the kids walked up to them holding the axes. Hope you guys liked that story. And let others know about my videos. Until next time, unpleasant dreams.